Foul on Sophie Cunningham. That is her first team second. Coming in for Phoenix number 14, Dewanna.
We're pouring one out for the career of Dewanna Bonner. Pouring one out for the career of Dewanna Bonner because she is washed.
She was 1/3 of the biggest girl group on the planet, the wild, unpredictable spark in a trio that sold over 65 million records. Most people remember Lisa Left Eye Lopes for two things: the condom over her eye and the fire that burned an NFL star's mansion to the ground. But those headlines were just a smokescreen, hiding a story of a creative genius pushed to her limits, a multimillionaire who was secretly broke, and a spiritual seeker whose final days were haunted by a chilling premonition of her own demise. The real story of Left Eye is far more shocking than the tabloids ever knew.
With Dewanna Bonner getting booed as soon as she entered the game. Shout out to all the fans in the building that were like, you know what? You did this organization dirty. You did the fans dirty. You did your teammates dirty. Our first chance we get when you come into the basketball game, we are going to boo you and boo you so you hear.
She wasn't just the rapper of TLC, she was its architect. In the early 90s, when the music industry was churning out formulaic pop and R&B, Left Eye was a force of pure, chaotic creativity. She was the one who came up with the name TLC, an acronym for the members Tian, Lisa, and Crystal. When Crystal was replaced by Rosanda Chili Thomas, they brilliantly claimed it stood for their personas: T-Boz, Left Eye, and Chili.
Dewanna Bonner, much to the Fever fans in attendance, much to their credit, they didn't play nice tonight. Good job. They booed the hell out of Dewanna Bonner. And then Alyssa Thomas started jawing at the fans. Well, let me understand something. You want fans booted out of arenas, but it's okay for you to talk shit?
Her vision extended far beyond the name. It was Lisa who first wore a condom over her left eye as a statement for safe SX, a move so bold and bizarre it became an iconic symbol of the entire decade. She wrote her own raps, developed the mind-bending concepts for their futuristic music videos, and designed their baggy, convention-defying outfits. While T-Boz had the signature voice and Chili had the smooth dance moves, Left Eye was the group's soul and visionary, building an
Foul on Sophie Cunningham. That is her first team second. Coming in for Phoenix number 14, Dewanna Bonner.
Look at this. Look at Satu Sabali clap. And she ended up getting clapped by the Indiana Fever. Nasty work. Satu Sabali, you played like trash, by the way.
That is her first team second.
The world got its first glimpse of the chaos simmering beneath the surface on June 9th, 1994. The news was explosive. Lisa Lopes had burned down the multi-million-dollar mansion of her famous boyfriend, Atlanta Falcons receiver Andre Rison. The media immediately painted her as unhinged, a crazy girlfriend in a fit of rage, cementing an image she could never escape.
It's disrespectful the way Dewanna Bonner quit on this team. This is sports. You women's basketball players and women's basketball fans sit up here and act like everything is supposed to be peaches and cream all the time. Stadiums, arenas, everybody boos players. Especially when there's a fallout or some goofy shit that happens, man.
But the reality was much darker and more desperate. Her relationship with Rison was notoriously turbulent, filled with accusations of his constant infidelity and, according to many reports, physical altercations. That night, after another heated argument, she didn't intend to burn the house down. Her plan was to burn his brand new sneakers in a fiberglass bathtub as a final act of defiance. The act was a cry for help that spiraled into a headline-making disaster, landing her with 5 years of probation.
The Fever signed Bonner this offseason, a two-time WNBA champion, to help this young core bring the franchise back into title contention. The Fever have only won one title in 2012, and prior to last season, they had not made the playoffs in 7 years. So while experience is an important factor in helping a team return to title contention, so is fit. And what I've learned from multiple sources is that from the onset, the fit between the Fever and Bonner was not a good one.
While Left Eye was dealing with legal issues, TLC was on top of the world. Their album Crazy Sexy Cool was a cultural phenomenon, selling millions upon millions of copies. They were everywhere, on MTV, on the radio, winning Grammys. To the public, they were rich, successful, and untouchable. But the truth was a DMN lie.
I boo people for less. I boo people for way less. Like if somebody played for my team, my favorite team, and they left after 9 to 10 games, you know, wasn't a good fit. I'm sure she dealt with some shit. I'd feel the type of way her coming back into my house. That's just fandom, okay? So, again, open to constructive feedback. I think that's sports, man. I'm going to be booing people all the time. I love it. Boo. I love booing.
In 1995, at the absolute peak of their fame, the group filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The announcement was stunning. How could a group this massive be broke? The truth exposed the predatory nature of the music industry. Their contract with LaFace Records and their manager Pebbles was so horrifically bad that after paying for managers, producers, and expenses, the members of TLC were left with practically nothing. They had sold 10 million albums and were now officially in debt.
After 3 games in a starting role, Bonner was moved to the bench in favor of shooting guard Lexi Hull, and 6 games later, she was done with the Fever. The Fever originally cited personal reasons for her absence, but what I learned later, again from multiple sources, was that the team was actually actively shopping her on the trade market.
By the late 90s, Left Eye felt like a prisoner in the beautiful cage she had helped build. During the creation of their third album, Fan Mail, she felt her creative input was being completely ignored. Her experimental, edgy ideas were being pushed aside in favor of a more polished, commercial sound. The visionary was being silenced, and she was not going to take it quietly.
They had a couple of players that really showed up big. It just went final 107-101. Fever over the Phoenix Mercury. That's right. The Dewanna Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, Phoenix Mercury. And yeah, there was some drama. I'm sure something is going to be said by one of the two of them during this post-game press conference. There's just no way around it.
The tension boiled over in a way only Left Eye could orchestrate. In 1999, she sent a letter to Vibe magazine issuing a public challenge that sent shockwaves through the industry. I challenged Tyon T-Boz Watkins and Rosanda Chili Thomas to an album showdown, she wrote. I'm certain the public would be interested to see which one of us is the most creative and talented. It was an unprecedented move, laying bare the deep fractures in the world's biggest girl group.
Dewanna Bonner is absolutely washed. The most washed player. Go retire with dignity. Go retire with dignity. A heartfelt tribute to the Indiana Fever by putting up the exact performance you gave for 9 games for the Fever. Dewanna Bonner, thank you. Thank you for... I know it took a lot of games. It in fact took you leaving the team. But thank you for finally helping the Fever win a game.
Tired of the fame, the infighting, and the public persona she could no longer stand, Lisa embarked on a 30-day spiritual retreat. She traveled to the Usha Herbal Research Institute in Honduras, a remote compound run by a controversial herbalist named Dr. Sebi. She brought a camera crew with her, determined to document her journey of cleansing and self-discovery.
After she handled it well. I mean, I don't understand, you know, like, she's a legend, and just all the things that she's done for the league.
Stop. What has Dewanna Bonner done for this league?
And just the disrespect, I can't get down with it. They booed her. She didn't say a word to the
That's a lie. Dewanna Bonner definitely said a word. Don't worry, Kalia Copper. We brought the receipts.
crowd. People talk some trash to her, but you know, we had her back.
The footage from this time is surreal. It shows a completely different woman from the fiery performer on stage. This was a vulnerable, introspective Lisa trying to heal from her past traumas and find a deeper meaning to her life. She was fasting, meditating, and communing with nature. She felt she was finally shedding the left eye persona and finding her true self, Lisa Lopes. But this newfound peace would be shattered by a dark and haunting event.
So Dewanna Bonner pulls one of the weakest moves in sports history and quits on the Indiana Fever not even halfway through this season, man. Your ass couldn't hit the fucking side of a barn and was stinking it up every game, and you're mad about a starting spot or some bullshit? Completely lost all respect for your punk ass, man.
Just weeks before her own journey would end, Left Eye was a passenger in a van traveling down a winding Honduran road. The vehicle, driven by her assistant, accidentally struck a small child who had darted into the street. The boy, named Baron Lopes, tragically passed away from his injuries. The incident was horrific, but what happened next was truly chilling.
That's a genuine question. Let me know in the comments section below, what has Dewanna Bonner done for this league? Prior to 2023, no casual fan, probably still no casual fan, has any idea who Dewanna Bonner is, couldn't pick her out of a lineup, other than teach these new players how to fleece an organization, how to rob an organization blind, how to quit on your team. Other than those three things, what has Dewanna Bonner done for this league? Genuine questions. I'm open-minded.
The fact that the boy shared her last name, Lopes, rattled Lisa to her core. She was devastated and paid for the boy's hospital bills and funeral, but the incident left a dark mark on her soul. In her documentary footage, a visibly shaken Lisa tearfully explains her belief that a supernatural force or spirit had made a mistake. She became convinced the entity had been after her that day, but in its haste had taken the life of the wrong Lopes.
We had Ari McDonald. She went absolutely bananas in the first half of this game. She did. She had a massive game, career high. This was her in the first half. 17 points, 2 assists, 3 of 3 from three-point range. She wasn't done. She wasn't done. Let's take a look at this. Sophie Cunningham came up big in the fourth. Aaliyah Boston came up huge in the fourth. She was struggling. And then at one point, she had scored 14 points in 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. And I couldn't believe it. She actually got a whistle tonight.
This chilling belief followed her for the rest of her trip. She spoke openly with her friends and on camera about feeling that her time was running out, that the spirit would be back to finish the job. Her friends were unsettled, but no one could have predicted how soon her haunting words would become a terrifying reality. On April 25th, 2002, just 1 month after arriving in Honduras, Lisa was behind the wheel of a rented SUV, with her camera rolling on the passenger seat, capturing what would become her final moments. As she tried to pass a slow-moving truck, she swerved to avoid an oncoming car, lost control, and the vehicle flipped several times. In the chaos of the crash, Lisa Lopes was ejected from the vehicle, and her life was tragically cut short. In a final, eerie twist that seemed to confirm her premonition, she was the only person in the car to suffer fatal injuries out of 9 passengers. The camera unbelievably kept rolling after the crash, capturing the frantic and grief-stricken cries of the survivors. The footage, later released in the documentary The Last Days of Left Eye, is a heartbreaking and raw account of a life that ended just as it was being reborn. Lisa Left Eye Lopes was labeled crazy, difficult, and destructive. But was she? Or was she a profoundly sensitive artist fighting back against an industry that tried to exploit her, a group that tried to silence her, and a public that could never understand her? Her legacy is one of brilliant, untamed talent, leaving us with one final haunting question. If